Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of Castle Farms Homestead. It is a hot one out today, and that means lots of manual labor out in the sun, of course. You saw in one of our previous videos, Clint and I used pallets to build fences around some of our trees to help keep the antelope from eating them. Well, I'm going to be doing more building with pallets today as I put in some compost boxes. Boxes? Sure. As I put in some sort of container for a compost pile that I will be building as well. We haven't had one yet, and we should really get one going. You can see next to me here the corner of what will eventually be the garden. And that's where I'm going to be putting the compost box pile. I'm just going to call it a compost pile because it will be piled into that thing. I chose this corner because it's technically closer to the house, the cottage, and where our eventual house will be, so that we don't have to walk as far to throw stuff into the compost. It'll be one of those 3-stage compost piles. All the fresh stuff, where all the fresh stuff gets thrown, that then in like 3 months gets mixed into the middle one, and then in 3 months that gets mixed into the far one, and then it's ready for use. Now I want to record this whole process for you guys, but there are some issues. There's one issue, and that is the sun is so freaking hot. Oh my gosh. It's behind some cloud cover right now, and it's starting to peek out, but it is making my phone overheat in about 3-4 seconds. And so I'm gonna do my very best to record this thing for you guys. But if the video footage starts getting choppy and there's segments that are missed and it just randomly ends, know that that is because despite having my phone literally tied to an ice pack, it got too hot for me to record this video. My phone just quit, but I didn't. You'll see the finished product no matter what. So, first things first, I want to clear some ground. We've got some mounds here from when we planted potatoes. What I'm going to do is clear out the weeds in this area right here, right in front of me. I got the hoe. I'm just going to rip them down real quick, then use the shovel to kind of level and dig down just a little bit. And then I'll set up the pallets inside that dug down space so they're a little more stable before I start filling it in with some stuff to make compost. The ice pack seems to be working very well. I don't know how long it will last, but it is definitely keeping the phone cold as I record. So that's great. Unfortunately, the size of the ice pack does limit the setup opportunities. Oh my goodness. The setup opportunities I have for the phone. So that's limiting my angles and everything. You're gonna spend most of the time sitting right there, possibly a little lower. We'll see. But I have successfully hoed out this section here. I'm looking at roughly 9 by 7. A roughly 9 by 7 area. that should be, hopefully, plenty for this compost here. The pallets aren't as big as I would like for them to be, just because of how large the garden is and the amount of material that I have to put in it. I don't think I'm going to be able to make a large enough container for all the compost I would like to make to treat this garden. Although actually, I mean, most of this right here, guys, is already a compost of sorts. It's a lot of sawdust and horse manure. That's the majority of what's the top layer of the garden is. We laid it on too thick once. And haha, yeah, Clinton and I never do that. We never lay it on too thick. We laid it on too thick once, and that's just what we're dealing with. It hasn't all blown off, which is great. But, I mean, that gives us a good layer to work in and everything. It'll all come together, guys, okay? It will all come together. This whole video is going to be just me. You're going to get a lot of unfiltered, unedited, the unrated clip of Brady out here doing crap. Speaking of, wear sunscreen, okay? Put on sunscreen. There's a bunch of dumb people who think that you shouldn't wear sunscreen, and they are wrong, okay? Look, yes, the sun is good. The sun gives life. The sun will kill you, okay? Like with all things in nature, you have to find the balance, okay? Or it'll force its own on you, and that usually winds up with a dead body. So, get some sun, not too much. And let's dig this section out, so let's go. This is the ice pack I have you guys tied to. But I thought you'd like to see what I was talking about. You can see here that this upper layer is all compost that we'd already put on. And then underneath is this, oh gosh, that hurt, freaking stuff. Compost, and then the dirt that's out here that is just so freaking hard. Just brutal to dig through. I mean, it's so hard that even tractors are having a hard time getting through it all. Having to get special attachments for buckets on tractors to make any headway through this stuff. This is all once a riverbed, or I mean, it's a dried up riverbed now. But you know, that means there's different layers of sediment all laid out here. And so you'll have softer layers and harder layers. About 3 feet down on our property, it's essentially bedrock. But it's just this dirt. I'm starting to question my three compartment compost pile idea. And thinking instead, I just make one giant one. I think that's what I want to do, is just make one giant pile. It'll be, you know, this big as I've made it already. But it'll just be the one pile. I mean, there's textbooks you could read about making compost, but that just all seems so unnecessary to me. It's a natural process. Everything's going to break down. You can't not have things decompose, you know? Like, it's going to happen no matter what. And there's so much stuff right now, especially, to throw in it. We have bags and bags of leaves to throw in. A I want to grab those weeds and chuck them in. And then there's some stuff from the kitchen, but then we have straw as well. Plus the other compost. There's the mushroom compost and the horse compost that we all have, that we have all of. There's just so much of it that I don't think three little compartments is enough for. I think that just one giant one is really what's going to do it. I think that will let me mix in a bunch of stuff, get all the big stuff in here and everything, and really let it start breaking down well. Plus, if we decide eventually in the future that we want to break it up into those stages, we'll be able to do that. We're going with one giant pin. I think that's the right move here. Thanks for helping me figure that out, guys. As you can tell by this gorgeous lighting, it is now the golden hour. The sun is going down, which means I didn't record a bunch of stuff. My phone got too hot. It spent some time in the freezer to cool down, but all you've really missed was me doing a bunch of wheelbarrow stuff. But first, let me show you the compost pen. Here you can see the compost container. It's made out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pallets. I decided to go with 2 sections. We've got the main one here, which I'm filling right now, and then what everything will get moved into as it becomes usable compost. It is filled with black trash bags that once had leaves in them. Clint and I gathered these leaves, I guess autumn last year. They've been sitting in piles that you've seen in some videos here on the front of the garden. They were originally going to go, maybe get tilled in, maybe used for ground cover, I don't know. But now they're being used for compost. So what I'm doing is taking all those leaves and chucking them in this area right here. And then getting it nice and wet. Now, I don't think you have to get it as wet as I'm getting this, but it's not getting the whole thing completely wet. And stuff dries so quickly here, might as well go a little extra. And of course, while I do this, it's starting to sprinkle. So that's good. Get a little extra water on this pile. But I'm also layering in compost from the horse manure and sawdust compost that we have, the mushroom compost that we have, going back and forth between all the different piles because I can't remember which pile is which. Throwing in a wheelbarrow full of that, then leaves on top, getting it wet, and just giving it a nice mix. Oh yeah, it is starting to get heavy, which is good. That means the dampness is actually sticking to it. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, you've got to mix greens and stuff into it. I don't have those right now. All right. Technically, I could throw the weeds in here, and I want to eventually, but I want it to get a little hotter first so that the compost to get hot, so that the hot compost will help kill the seeds of the weeds. They won't just germinate in here. Ooh. Oh yeah. But, I mean, come on. This is gonna be good stuff. Oh, that corner is not very well mixed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull that out and spread it over on top. I almost missed putting my elbow down. Let's go get some more compost to throw on the compost. Compost, 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 compost. Garbage. Look. So this is all that I accomplished yesterday. I threw on all the leaves that we had and the composts that we had and everything. But now I have some other stuff to throw into it as well, which is some old rotten bananas and some banana peels. But inside the box was a tarantula hawk. And if you don't know about tarantula hawks, they have one of the most painful stings in the whole entire world. Now, there's, I believe, a dead one right down there, but there was a live one in there earlier crawling around, and I don't know where it went, which has me a little nervous. Now, they are not aggressive at all, but if it's eaten and I go bumping it and everything, it might become annoyed. Luckily, the sting only lasts for 2 to 4 minutes of apparently just some of the most excruciating pain of your life, but still only 2 to 4 minutes. So just keep the camera rolling the whole time if that happens. I'll peek out the mics. Yeah, I think it flew off. But here you can see the banana. The plates are going, so we'll just toss the plates in too, even though you normally wouldn't with this type of cardboard because it has coating on it. But we'll just kind of do that, rip the cardboard up so it's a little easier. And then all these peels, there we go. It's definitely dead. I want to grab it. Oh yeah, it's dead as a doornail.
Oh my God!
Don't you dare. There's the live one.
Don't let them see you're messing with the other one.
right? But if you look, I don't know if you can get the right angle with the light. They look black, but they're actually this gorgeous iridescent blue. And on some spots of them, you get a nice, beautiful dark purple. They're just gorgeous with these bright orange wings on them and everything. I love them.
Still have a healthy scare of them.
Oh, I have a strong respect for their personal space. If they didn't act so chill with me this close, then I would not be this close. But in previous years, I've forgotten that we've had them out here, because I'll see one or two a year just randomly in the summer. But this year, I've seen them all over the place. And up at someone else's property, they're growing some buckwheat and some other things for just to see what they can get grown and everything. And the tarantula hawks seem to love the buckwheat. We were standing there chatting, watching the plants and everything, looking at all the cool insects. And there are maybe 10 to 12 tarantula hawks scattered throughout their buckwheat and everything, in varying sizes from big, like 2.5 inch long, to little 1 inch long ones and everything, just flying all over the place. And you just hear boo as it flies by your ear. They surprise you that way. All right, let's get the tape off this box, because we'll just chuck this box in the compost too. The tarantula hawk is mixing itself in with the peels and bananas, and I want to wet and mix the pile, but again, I don't want to aggravate this insect. Much more concerned about that thing than touching an electric fence. I think turning the water on should chase the tarantula hawk off without bugging it. All right, let's turn the water on, wet this a bit, and start mixing it. Now, another interesting thing about tarantula hawks is they're called that because they hunt tarantulas. The females sting and paralyze tarantulas, then lay their eggs inside, an egg inside said tarantula, drag it back to the tarantula's home, bury it in there so that its larva can then hatch and eat the living tarantula as it grows. And the larvae have an interesting eating pattern where they avoid eating the vital organs of the tarantula, because that keeps the tarantula alive longer and their food fresher. Just super messed up. Oh, another thing, only the female tarantula hawks sting. So there's a 50-50 that the one that's in here could even sting.
Males and females look the same though.
They do look the same as far as I know. I don't know if there's a size difference, if they have sexual dimorphism. I don't know. But that's nice and damp, so now he's gonna lift with me. Grunt and breathe heavily. Spit real quick. We'll hose it down again now. All right. I'm gonna turn off the water, but I'll wet and turn this about every day for a while at least. And then until I see it like start to break down, and then I'll let it do its own thing a little bit more. But I mean, just turning this, you could see that there were dry spots in it again already. And so I just want to make sure that I've mixed it well and I'm giving it every chance that it has to start composting. So hopefully by spring next year, we'll have ourselves some black gold. Thank you for watching this video of Castle Farms Homestead. You've seen us get one step closer to our goal of self-sustainability, or at least a little sustainability. Let me know how your compost projects have gone. If you've done something like this, what's worked best for you, anything like that. If you've got any questions about compost, I don't know. And also, I don't care. But we'll see you next time on Castle Farms Homestead.